Hi, Mickey. This is Diane Neighbor here, and I'm here with Mickey Koth, and we're doing a MOUG 40th Anniversary Oral History interview. So the first thing that I wanted to ask you is a little bit about your current position, your title, the location, etc.
I'm a catalog librarian at Yale University, and I've been here since 1990, 27 years.
That's a long time. So is this position the same or a different position since your first involvement with the MOUG organization?
This is my second position. The first position I had as a professional was at Indiana University, where I did a retrospective conversion of scores.
And I guess your involvement with MOUG, we had looked back, it was 1998. Is that correct?
That was when I was the MOUG newsletter editor.
Okay.
But my involvement with MOUG goes back to 88.
1988.
Right. And my first MOUG meeting was in Cleveland in 1989. But I was already involved with MOUG activities before then.
Great. And my first meeting was probably around 2000 when I started working at University of Hartford, but I had heard about MOUG through Mickey and when I did my internship here. And I remember her working on the newsletters at the time. Do you want to talk a little bit about the NACO project or any of the other MOUG-related activities?
I'd love to talk about the NACO Music Project because it was started at Indiana by Ralph Papakian. He wanted to start adding authority records to the authority file and thought the best way to do it was to have a bunch of music libraries do it together. And so he approached possibly LC about getting a funnel going, but they didn't seem to be very enthusiastic. So he worked with OCLC and actually got this funnel going. The first year it was happening was 1988. And I was right out of library school. It was my first job. I did most of the headings that were added to the authority file. And I remember asking Ralph, do the people at LC know that the person doing these headings is right out of library school? Because I was thinking, surely someone new to the profession as I was shouldn't be doing this high level work. And he just did his typical Ralph.
His laughter
snort. So there were two important things to the NACO Music Project. First of all, we were adding all these headings. And second of all, we proved that a funnel could work.
Yep.
They didn't believe it before that. And you know how many funnels there are now.
Great. And should we also mention that you got the MOUG Distinguished Service Award?
All right.
Do you remember the year?
That was 2009, and it was really a great honor to get it.
I remember. I was so excited. I was there. We gave you a nice standing ovation.
Yes, it was very, very much an honor.
And one of my first, I actually attended a MOUG board meeting with Mickey when she was on the board, but I wasn't yet, and that was fun as well for me. So what or who drew you to MOUG?
What drew me to MOUG was at the time, its emphasis on cataloging and its practical approach to it. I know that if you go to MLA meetings, or I felt in the past, you could learn what was happening, what was going to happen, what changes are going to happen, and that's fine. But MOUG was where you learned how to apply them, what you learned how to do things at MOUG. And to me, that was far more important because my area of strength is explaining things.
Yeah.
So
I enjoyed I remember loving it, my first MOUG meeting and sitting in a room full of people discussing fields and subfields. And I was total
we
nerd.
We are cataloging geeks.
Exactly. So what changes have you seen in MOUG over the years then?
Well, other than all of us getting older.
No way.
I was just looking through some very early MOUG newsletters from the 70s, and I remember seeing Ralph and Sue Stanku and Lenore Coral and all the work they were doing on the new music mark formats. There was absolutely no help. So it was up to them. And some of the early newsletters talked about the 041 field and all the subfields. And so that was very important for them. But over the years, it has also branched out into public service. And I think that's really an important branching out that was done.
I think that's great too. So on to what is your favorite MOOC memory?
I have two of them. One is being at a meeting where Jay White stood up to talk. And as he stood at the podium, he assured us all that he was, in fact, standing up.
I remember.
And the second memory I have is being at OCLC. I've only been there once, and it was because of a board meeting, a MOOG board meeting. And we were in this huge cavernous room, and there were these two dinky little mainframes or something in the middle. Those little columns of computers held the entire OCLC database. And we were told that previously that entire room was required to hold all of the computers, and they were just two little columns now. It was very amazing to see how far the technology had come and how much more miniature it was. I'm sure it's smaller now even.
I bet. I remember that same thing. I was at OCLC 3 times. So I was treasurer for 3 years, and I always loved going to OCLC, and I do remember that same view. One of my favorite memories is the camaraderie when we met at Jay's house. And I don't know if Dan will mention this, but we both said how we really enjoyed meeting his dogs. And it was just a great group, and I really enjoyed it, and I do miss it.
I thought that Jay and his wife were really very gracious hosts, and meeting there for the MOOG board meetings was very nice. I don't remember dogs, though.
You don't remember dogs?
No, I don't.
They were kind of part of it. I think there were 2, but
maybe they weren't there yet.
So I think that's it for now, unless you have anything else to add to our interview.
I think that's it for me, too.
Well, thank you so much. Again, it's Diane Neighbor with Mickey Koth. We're here in the Music Library at Yale University. Thanks so much.
Thank you.